The first film to not be directed by John Lasseter, Monsters Inc. was directed by Pete Docter. Before this movie, he was the supervising animator for Toy Story, an additional storyboard artist for A Bug's Life, and one of the few writers for the original story to Toy Story 2, with John Lasseter, Ash Burnham, and Andrew Stanton. So Pete being a director this time around was a big step for him. Though this wasn't the first time him doing directing stuff, as he directed a few short films before, but is his first time directing a full-length feature film, which is a huge step up for him. And his movie was truly another hit for Pixar. The story to Monsters Inc. is about a world of monsters that collect children's screams in order to power their city. Two of the top scarers, James B. Sullivan, or for short, Sully, played by John Goodman, and Mike Wazowski, played by Billy Crystal, are always in a rivalry with Randall Bonds, played by Steve Buscemi, to become the top scarer. One night when Mike takes his girlfriend, Celia, Sully finds a door and goes inside to find nothing but a bedroom. But suddenly a little human girl surprises Sully and follows him wherever he goes. And it's revealed that Randall was going to scare the girl to cheat his way to becoming the top scarer. Sully hides the girl and runs off to find Mike. But while talking to Mike, the girl goes loose and causes a massive panic on the whole of the city. Now Mike and Sully have to find their way to get the girl back into the door without anyone knowing that Mike and Sully are involved in the situation. And in the process, Sully decides to name the girl Boo. I heard back when this film first came out, it was considered to be Pixar's best original idea. I didn't get that at first, but then I realized it was talking about the whole using human children's screams as the monster world's energy, and the fact that the monsters themselves are scared of the human children when they're in the monster world. That's a very questionable thing about how they aren't afraid of them when they're in the human world, but they are afraid when they are in the monster world. Some things are best left untold. So for the rest of the story, I think it is really good. The idea that monsters travel to the human world through doors is a really cool idea, and Mike and Sully taking care of Boo is really sweet. And my god, the plot twist we get! I won't spoil it just in case, but my god, it really surprised me when I first watched the movie. I love plot twists in films. So many of my favorite films have plot twists, and I love every single one of them. Well, almost every single one. Mike and Sully are one of the best buddy characters I've seen in a Disney or Pixar movie. I wouldn't say of all time in animation, as I think that title should go to Miguel and Tulio from The Road to El Dorado, since that is my favorite DreamWorks movie after all. Boo is really sweet. She doesn't speak like a normal person, but makes noises trying to speak. And the moments she has with Sully are really sweet. I'm not crying. You're the one who's crying. Randall is a good villain. He tries so hard to beat Sully for the top scarer, and goes out of his way to cheat just so he could boost his numbers. That's something a villain would do. Mr. Waternoose is an interesting character. He wants what's best for the company, and he wants the best scarer at the company, and always respects Sully for being the top scarer. By far the funniest character in Monsters Inc. is none other than Roz, played by one of the storyboarders of the film, Bob Peterson. The voice he gives Roz is absolutely hilarious. It would sound like an old lady working in a job she doesn't really want to do, but takes it really seriously. That's what makes the character really funny. I love it when Pixar come up with these kind of characters. And let's not forget...
Welcome to the Himalayas!
I love that bit so much. Snow cone, anyone? No? Okay. The animation is once again a big step up for Pixar, as they added fur to the characters, and good lord did they have a hard time putting it together. How do I know this? Because I actually watched the behind the scenes stuff that I get on the bonus disc. See, that's a special thing of why you should own a DVD. But it really did pay off in the end. Another thing would be in the scene during the second act of the film where we see like billions of doors, and my god, there are so many doors to the human world, and it takes the characters to so many different places, and the characters look really great, and the artists were really creative when doing the designs of the monster characters. Once again, the music was done by Randy Newman, and you can already tell I love the music in this film. And again, the music is even better. Monsters Inc. is a really great animated movie. I know I've said that for the other films as well, but that's what I think about Pixar films. Monsters Inc., while I do think it's better than A Bug's Life and the first Toy Story, I think Toy Story 2 is still a better movie than Monsters Inc. I love this movie, of course, but again, I had more enjoyment from Toy Story 2. Another important thing I should mention is that after the film is over, while you're in the credits, you'll get to see outtakes. These aren't real outtakes, however, as they are just made up ones that they made just for like a little laugh who stays around for the credits. A Bug's Life and Toy Story 2 also had this feature, though there's two different versions of the credits of Toy Story 2 and Monsters Inc. One without the outtakes and one with the outtakes. And in the middle of the credits to Monsters Inc., there's a special extended scene to the monster characters watching a play done by Mike called Put That Thing Back Where It Came From, Also Help Me. It's a reason to stay for the credits, and that you get to hear Mike and Sully singing the theme to the movie. Sadly, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, and Monsters Inc. are the only films to get this feature. I would love to see these outtakes return in a future Pixar film. Maybe one day. As I've said for the first two Toy Stories, I love this movie. I've seen it a million times already, and I'll see it a million times more. I highly recommend this movie to everyone, even to the little monsters.
You know, that wasn't very funny.
Check it out if you haven't already. And if you've already seen this movie, then watch it again!